Yeah, it's alright, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I've got a cold, so I apologise if I cough loads.
All good?
Yeah, and I apologise about the delay, but Skype decided to do to update.
That's okay. Not a problem.
So, might as well start. I was supposed to do an intro, but there's no time now, so we'll just start with the questions. Cool. So, obviously, Mickey, if you obviously want to introduce yourself.
My name's Mickey. I'm from UK Haunted. Do lots of ghost hunting around the country. Been on a couple of TV shows. I also like urban exploring and doing silly things on YouTube, basically.
Silly things. Everyone does silly things on YouTube, I think, a lot. So. So, Mickey, I am obviously going to start because we do have a lot to discuss. So I'm obviously first going to start with the urban exploring, if that's okay. Ask you some questions about that first. So, what got you into urban exploring?
I would say possibly watching some other people on YouTube doing it. Obviously, I knew about it years ago when I was first started ghost hunting. Like, we'd have some couple of people just turn up at a location and they say, we're just urban exploring. Didn't really know what that meant or what it was. Just knew that they took photos of like old buildings. And obviously, as the years go by, you watch more YouTube. YouTube now becomes like fashionable. And I just saw people on there doing basically urban exploring at night time. I suppose it wouldn't be the traditional urban exploring as it was back in the day. It's more like to get views and like scary nighttime things. A lot of them are fake, but I suppose that's what really got me into it.
Yeah, I watched some clickbait ones actually, so where you can tell it's fake, but I'm like, oh, this is funny, so I'll watch it anyway.
There's so many about at the moment.
So, do you think with your urban exploring that you'll go over the world with it, or will you just like stay
I'd
local?
love to go wherever, to be honest. I've got a few friends in Wales. I've actually been to Wales for a day, urban exploring with them, Kurt and Jordan. We went to 3 locations because Wales is just full of them. Like, when a building is just left, it is left. Not like in England when they knock it down and put a house on it. In Wales, they just leave it, and there's some amazing places there. And I've got a few friends like all over the country that they're telling me, come here, there's lots of places. It's just trying to find the time and obviously the mileage and the car, the expense and that to actually get a day off work and actually go and do that. But I'd love to like travel anywhere, really. So anywhere in the world.
Yeah, I've got into urban exploring, but I can never find the time to go or anywhere to go where I live.
Yeah, it's good to, if you go on there's a website I go on 28 Days Later, and it gives you locations and pictures and reports, some history, and also if there's security, like obviously because some urban exploring is illegal because you are trespassing. But, obviously don't go in there if you've got to break a window or a door. I suppose it's not so bad if you just walk onto the land, But not that I'm condoning doing that, but that's obviously everybody's choice if they want to do that.
So here's like a weird question for you. Well, I think it's weird, but I've asked Carl and he says it's fine. But see what you think. Do you think investigating the paranormal is sometimes like urban exploring? Because obviously the type of buildings you go into.
Oh yeah, definitely. Quite often I've been ghost hunting in abandoned buildings. So, they like go hand in hand really, because obviously you've got the history You've got the stories. Maybe someone did die there. Maybe the land was used for something before the current building was there. So it's quite similar, I think. So yeah, definitely.
Right, now we're moving on to Moaning Miki.
Okay.
So what gave you the idea to start Moaning Miki?
I suppose because everyone says I'm miserable and all I do is moan. And there's a bloke on YouTube called Joe Santagato who does these like people of Walmart videos, and he's about 4-minute videos of like the weird people, and he just talks about them and got various clips of that. It's really funny. And basically I thought, I could, like, because sometimes he would be moaning about a certain subject, and I thought, well, I could do that. That seems quite funny. So that's really how Moaning Miki started, because of him.
I don't think you moan all the time, Miki, so you're right.
You don't know me that well.
Right, if I think of any more questions on Moaning Miki, I'll obviously ask you, but I'm like, just one question, that was it.
That's a good one.
So, obviously, people who follow you know that you were on Channel W's Haunted Hotel.
Yep.
So obviously, with you being an expert on the show, do you think these type of TV shows are good for the paranormal?
For the traditional ghost hunters, no. As you can see from social media, whenever somebody shares a post or puts a post up about celebrity ghost hunt, celebrity haunted hotel, mansion, whatever, they will say, "Oh, it's a load of rubbish. You can't do that. It's you shouldn't be doing it. You shouldn't be showing this sort of thing." And to be honest with you, I think it's I wouldn't say a fresh way of looking at it, but it's light-hearted. If you look at it as in, this is not a serious investigation, because it's live. Obviously, when we were on the show, we had like 10-20 minutes per like vigil. You're not going to get lots of activity in 20 minutes when you've got like 5 cameramen, lots of lighting people, the crew right behind the camera, are you really? So these people, I think they are good, because obviously they put celebrities in this sort of situation where you wouldn't normally see them. And I don't see personally anything wrong with them. I watch them, but I don't watch it thinking it's going to be a serious investigation. So I think people that do, I think they're a bit deluded, really, because you've got to look at it. How are you going to get evidence with all these lights, all the crew, all the cameras? You're not. Like, a normal investigation is like 7 hours. And obviously for a lot of the time, you don't get no activity at all. So, yeah, I do think they are good, but don't take them that seriously.
Agree with you there. Like, I think I watched, obviously, the one you did, you guys were in, but I didn't watch the recent one.
Yeah.
Not because I didn't want to, I didn't have time, so. But it took me a while to notice that it was at Woodchester Mansion, actually.
Oh, yeah. It's a good place. Have you been there before? Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there.
As you know, then if you have quite a few people there, the noise travels really badly. And obviously, if you're in one room and someone's in a couple of rooms away, you can hear them very clearly. So obviously, any evidence that they were going to get, obviously you got crew there as well, it wasn't going to be that good, to be fair, because the building is just not built really for that sort of thing, because the acoustics, because it's just all hollow and it echoes too much.
Yeah, and obviously some floors have got new wood flooring as well.
Yeah, the top levels,
that's So would you do it again if, like, obviously they came to you?
What, for Series 3? Yeah, series 3. If anyone's listening, put me on. That's not a sellout either. It's just something that I enjoyed being involved with the first series. So, and I think we did a good job on there because, obviously it was just pure investigating from basically the start of each episode. So, and it was really good. Good for us anyway. But obviously a lot of people didn't really like it. So, but, that's their choice.
Yeah, it's just like you said, it's not for everyone. So,
but I'm sure these people that moan about these sort of celeb shows, if they got asked, I bet they wouldn't turn it down. But they're the ones that are abusing it on social media. I know, but who knows?
So was you nervous to be in front of a TV? Like
the live crew? Yeah, that was. I'd say the first night. Obviously, we got there 3 days before the first night, so we basically had 3 days of like run through for night 1, and where we're going to stand on camera, things like that. What we were going to say, because obviously it wasn't scripted for us. We had to like tell them what we wanted to say to the camera before like the investigation started, and then obviously we just run it as we would normally run it. But obviously the first night, as you're building up, it's like, wow, this is like the biggest thing we've ever done, and it was quite nerve-wracking. But I would say night 1 was the easiest because we didn't know what to expect. Like night 2, it's like, oh my god, we've got to do that again. And then night 3, and it just kept building up, and it's like, wow. But the investigating part was easy because obviously that's what we do all the time. But it's the live on camera, like you have to ad-lib sometimes. It was very nerve-wracking, I would say. I think Alex dealt with it a bit better than I did with the nerves. But no, I think we both did a good job, and it was, I would say yes, it was nerve-wracking, but it was in a good way, I would say.
So would you say, well, like I know you're confident anyway, but would you say that it's given you more confidence in doing that?
Yeah, definitely, because obviously you put in a situation where you've got like 300,000 people watching you on telly at that moment, let alone the 150 crew that are on site with you. And it's like, wow, it was quite daunting, I would say. But yeah, it was definitely, I think we had, when we finished on Halloween night, we came home the next day. And I think we had an event 3 days later. And I went into that event personally as if to say, yeah, we just been on telly sort of thing. Like, that's not big-headed or anything. It's just like confidence that we've just done this for 5 nights live on national TV. And it does give you like a boost. And I would say, yeah, it gave us a bit more confidence.
Yeah, because I bet you and Alex probably thought, oh, we'd never be on TV or anything, and then bam, basically.
Well, yeah, well, obviously we tried getting on TV or of our own show, and we had the year before was on Showcase, which obviously we put up ourselves. But we did trend in the UK that night on number 9, so we did really well. But yeah, definitely, it's not, I don't know, national TV was a bit scary and a bit daunting, yeah. So yeah, obviously you hope to get on there, but it's very, very difficult and a very slow process to get on TV.
Yeah, I think it is sometimes we're ready for it if you're in the paranormal, especially like if you're on YouTube as well.
Yeah, obviously YouTube. Anyone can do YouTube. YouTube is a brilliant platform for everybody. And I still love it today. So, in a way, YouTube could be better because it's worldwide. Obviously, TV is only if you have that channel. Like, not every channel is free. So, you have to pay like Sky and Virgin or that. So, not a lot of people could possibly see your show. But obviously, if you've got YouTube, social media, you've got a worldwide audience there. So, you've just obviously got to gain that that following first.
So, if there's anyone obviously listening to this interview and didn't see Celeb Haunted Hotel, what was it about and what happened?
Basically, there was 6 experts. Obviously, me, Alex, Barry, Joe, Emily, and Alex, the psychic. And we were in charge of looking after the celebrities that would check into the hotel each night and basically show them a vigil, like show them investigation, how we would do it, and put them through experiments and see how they would cope with it. And obviously that was for 5 nights. And I think there was about 4 celebs a night. Some would only stay for 1 night. Others had a couple of nights at it. But yeah, it was. Some of them were good at it. Some didn't. Took it as a joke, I think. Maybe too much alcohol. So they were a bit too brave, if you know what I mean. And I think if they'd sorted it differently in their own head beforehand, I think they would have gained something a bit more than they actually did.
So we shall try and get Mickey back on. You are back.
Hello.
So now we shall go into the paranormal topic. So, has anything happened to you what has got you thinking, okay, there may be actually ghosts and spirits?
Yes, lots. Would you like me to specify?
Of course, go ahead.
My first ever spirit that I saw was in the cellar of Woodchester Mansion. And up until this point, I suppose it was maybe a year after I started ghost hunting. I went there and we're in the cellar. It was all dark, obviously. And then suddenly I looked up and I saw a black mass rush at my face, and it scared the hell out of me. Now, obviously it's dark. People can say, oh, how can you see a black mass? But obviously when it's dark, you can still see. You can still see like shapes, objects, blah, blah, blah. It was just a completely black mass right in front of me. And yeah, that's the first experience I've ever had. And someone did tell me while I was there that was quite common down there. So I was quite impressed with that, to be honest. Over the years, though, I've seen lots of things. I've seen old patients at St. Crispin's Mental Asylum. I've seen a headless man walking in a local cemetery. I've seen a child. I've seen loads of stuff. And that's not because I'm a medium or I can communicate like that. I have no powers whatsoever. I can't talk to them. I can't see them. I don't get messages from them. It's just like it appears and then it's gone. Like maybe about half a second to a second. And then that's it. It vanishes. I don't know what you call that. Whether, I don't know what you would call it, I suppose, because I don't have the gift to communicate with them. But I don't know. So yeah, I think like lots of things. I wouldn't say one particular thing has made me think yes, there is spirits. It's just a continuous thing of seeing them and the activity we get on our equipment, and obviously answers to controlled questions on like spirit boxes, things like that. Voices that I've heard. It can't be anything but spirits in my eyes, anyway. So.
Very good answer. So, has anything happened to you during an investigation which has made you think, why the hell am I doing this?
I would say quite early on in my paranormal journey, I would say. It was before UK Haunted. I was with a local team, and I think it was our second investigation, and we went out to Clop Hill, the old St Mary's Church in Clop Hill, famous for the satanic rituals and things like that. And anybody that's been to Clop Hill would know that the church is abandoned and stands a lot on top of a hill, and there's a graveyard at the bottom of it, which is sort of like has its own like hedges around it, and then you have to walk through the trees to get into the graveyard. Well, we were all down in the graveyard, and I thought, oh, I want to go up to the church, and I wanted to go on my own. But at this point, this is going to sound really silly, but I was still like scared of the dark, and I had to get someone to go with me to go there. And I'm thinking, oh my God, what are you doing? Why am I doing this? I wouldn't say it made me not want to do ghost hunting, but at the time I was still scared. And I think maybe that was, when was that? Maybe a year to the second year of my ghost hunting that I was still scared of the dark. Obviously I'm not now, because, you know, I love the dark. It's nothing to me anymore. But at the time I was still very naive and not really understanding what was happening. And obviously inexperienced, really. So, yeah.
Mm. God. So, have you ever captured anything which, after watching it over and over again, you still can't explain it?
I wouldn't say probably visually, because obviously if you get something visual, you can put that in like on social media, picture, video. You can go to the press and you get your story in the paper. I would say it's only audio, I would say, that we've captured that is like, wow, oh my God. We had a few things, although I have seen things that I can't explain, like all the spirits I've seen. One time, me and Alex were in Overston Manor. It was just us two in the bar area. This was very early in UK Haunted's history. And we just sat there. We'd heard that there was a gentleman seen on the CCTV. He sits at the bar, like with his head on the counter. And I was just asking, oh, there's a gentleman here. Would you like to come forward? You've been seen before. Could you come and show yourself? And we had the camera on the bar facing me and Alex. And obviously we were looking at the bar. And after about 20 seconds, we heard the loudest bang, and it scared the hell out of us. And obviously we didn't have the camera facing the bar. We had it facing us, which was such a shame because we went behind the bar to investigate what it could be. We were trying out different things, and we managed to figure out that it was one of the small cupboards, and it had like a magnetic catch on it. So you pull it to and it shuts. And it was that obviously had opened and slammed shut. And unfortunately, we didn't get that on camera. But there's no way that can ever do that on its own. So in my eyes, it had to be a spirit or whatever a spirit is that did that. Because there's no way in hell that could ever open. There was no breeze, there was no draft. There was no one else in the building, just me and Alex. So, yeah, I would say for that is definitely one thing that we definitely couldn't explain. But unfortunately, we didn't capture it on camera.
I think that always happens with a lot of investigators, though, where it's like something happens and you're not facing the camera somewhere, or you've got your camera off and something happens, and then you're like,
we've had that before, where we'd stop filming and we'd go and have a break, and we'd be going back to the car or wherever we were to go and have our breaks and food or whatever. And obviously things would happen. It's like, damn, we're not recording. So now, obviously, we keep the camera rolling all the time while we're in the building. So obviously you're not going to miss something. So if you hear a noise, a shout, a bang while you're walking out, you've caught it on camera. So, but yeah, obviously now with UK Haunted doing full spectrum night vision 360 videos, little plug there. We're not going to miss that shot anymore if it's in the room that we're in. So, yeah.
Is there a haunted location what you really want to investigate?
Does that have to be in the UK or anywhere? Eastern State Penitentiary in America. Amazing location, amazing history. It's been abandoned for many years now. There's lots of deaths inside the prison, and it's just the layout. How do I describe the layout? Obviously, a lot of people probably know what Eastern State looks like from like Ghost Hunters went there, Ghost Adventures I think have been there as well. Basically, you have the middle section and you have these long corridors off the middle, and obviously they're the wings and the wards, and it all goes into one. So if you're in the middle, you can see every single like ward of the prison. So it's just an amazing place, and I'd love to go there. Obviously, the Paris catacombs as well under Paris. There's some history there. There's like 2 million bones or something. I don't know, probably more than that down there of dead bodies, which is they must have some sort of energy there. So I'd love to go there as well.
I think there's like loads that a lot of people want to go
definitely.
to though.
I suppose it depends on what you're into, because some people like prisons, castles, old houses. Some people like private locations, like people's houses. They prefer them. You know, so I suppose it just depends on your taste, on where's your ultimate location you'd like to go to.
So, another question. Is there any team which you'd like to investigate with?
Does it? Does this have to be on TV team or just any team? Any team?
No, any team. It's fine.
Well, obviously, if it's TV, obviously Zach and the crew, love to investigate with them just to see how they do it. Obviously, our good friend Carl has been on that show. He loves it when I tell people that.
Yeah, he hates it. Yeah, he actually loves it, doesn't he, when everyone mentions it? He's
sorry,
a liar.
Carl, if you're listening. Fort Horsted episode. Anyway, obviously them for TV wise. I mentioned earlier Kurt and Jordan from Wales. They Urban Explorers. They've just started their own paranormal team, Forsaken Paranormal. They've been going for nearly a year now. We will be linking up with them at some point in the future, I imagine. So probably then. Obviously, I've met other teams on public events, so I've worked with them in the past, and they're really good, a lot of them. So, yeah.
Katie says she'd like to go to Letchworth
Oh, that's
Village.
another one of my favourites. Yeah, that's amazing, that place. I remember that episode when Ghost Adventures went there, and that young lad was chewing gum, and Zach told him off. He said, "You don't chew gum on camera." But yeah, there's lots of history of like evil stuff going on there, so that's definitely another one. So that's a good call, Katie.
I'd like to go to oh God, I forgot.
I've been there.
I like to go to loads, but I forgot the most one.
Okay, you have a think about that one.
Yeah, you'll probably come to me in a minute. So how did you get involved with UK Haunted?
UK Haunted was actually born from the other team that we were in, our local team, because I think there was 10 of us in this team, and obviously with 10 people, you go and have meetings, you arrange locations to go and investigate. how many times are you going to get all 10 people to go and actually be there on that time? It's never going to happen. In the end, it wasn't really going that well. People weren't really that bothered, or it seemed that way anyway. They weren't turning up. In the end, it was quite often just me and Alex. So we thought, oh, why don't we just create our own team? And then obviously we thought about ideas, and Alex come up with the name UK Haunted. So, and then we designed the logo, the colour scheme, everything, and that's basically that's how it was born. So.
Katie says Bobby Mackey's as well.
Yeah, obviously lots of history there with the old Welcome to Hell and all that. In that well underground, I know a couple of people that have actually been there. It is one that I would like to go to, I suppose, because of how evil it's supposed to be. So I'd like to experience that for myself to see if it is indeed evil or it's just in people's minds. So.
Mine would be, I've figured it out. I found it out. The Waverly Hills Sanatorium.
Yeah. Another massive, again, obviously asylums. In America, they have so many old prisons that are abandoned asylums. They're just crazy. And obviously, like you say, there's lots of history there. Obviously, asylums, they weren't nice places back in the day. They did horrible things to people. Quite often, though, people were put there if they had like a learning disability, or sometimes if someone was pregnant and they didn't want like the family or the public to find out, they just sent the woman there to stay there. So some horrible things went on. So obviously a lot of energy, a lot of bad energy. So yeah, definitely a good place to go to.
So, obviously, if people follow you, they'll know that you worked with Really TV and did the Facebook Live. Did anything paranormal happen behind the live which no one saw live or heard live?
Well, obviously it was live, so obviously it wasn't pre-planned or anything. We basically got there set up, but yeah, we did have time, I suppose, before we went live. We didn't notice anything paranormal, to be honest, but then again, we were really, really busy trying to set up cameras and the lights and equipment. I would say no, nothing really paranormal happened when the camera wasn't on. But obviously, we did get quite a lot of good activity while the live was happening. So.
Yeah, I remember watching
it was good. 225,000 views. Woo. Biggest Facebook Live ghost hunt ever.
So, yeah. So how did it feel? Because you, if I stand correct, if it is correct, were you the first people to do a Facebook Live paranormal investigation on Really TV
yes.
Facebook?
And the only one.
So how did it feel?
What, to work with Really? It was good. Obviously, we went down to the head office beforehand to have a couple of meetings, discuss what we were going to do. Obviously, people think, oh, it's just Facebook, it don't matter. But we had quite a big team that were behind the scenes for this. Obviously, you got compliance. Is anybody going to complain about certain things that we're going to do? That's why they wanted to know how our experiments were going to work. Because obviously it went out after 9 o'clock, but it would be on their Facebook page like whenever. So you could watch it in the morning. You could have kids watching it at 7 o'clock in the morning before school. So obviously they wanted to know what sort of things we'd be doing. So it was quite it actually surprised me how the process worked. I thought we'd just turn up and they will put their login details into the phone, and then there you go, we'll do a ghost hunt. But no, it's a lot more in depth, I think, than I originally imagined. But yeah, it was really good working with them, and hopefully we'll be doing another one soon.
Yeah, I think because for sometimes you don't know with TV channels, because they could be just well, you obviously have a way of investigating, and then they could have been well, no, we want you to do it this way.
Oh yeah, there was no plan from them at all. They asked us what we wanted to do, and that was it, basically. They didn't say, well, we don't agree with that, we want to change it, I think this is how you should do it, because obviously we know what we're doing, and if they wanted us to actually change what we were going to do, and it wasn't a way that we thought was the correct way, then we wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, because there is a lot of, obviously, people who are if especially TV networks. So, do UK Haunted have any events planned?
Currently, no. There will be, I'm sure. We normally do some in May, June time. That's normally when we start doing them again. But at the moment, there's none actually in the pipeline, but I'm sure there will be. Just stay tuned to the social media, and we will let you guys know if there is any. But I'm sure there will be.
Right, this is a question off Carl. You know what he's like with his techie stuff. He asks, can you tell us more about the 360 project you're working on, including the new stuff on Facebook you have been advertising recently?
I can't really tell you too much about the 360 side, to be fair, because that's top secret, I'm afraid, Carl. I suppose it depends on what he'd want to know. Obviously, we used the 360 camera for the experiment with Really TV on their Facebook Live, but obviously that was a normal camera, or a normal daytime camera, so we had to have lights on for people to see. But we've been in contact with Infrared, who convert cameras to full spectrum and night vision, and they did the camera for us, a 360 camera. And I don't know if some of you guys have seen the video that we released at the weekend. I think it was about 30 minutes long, and we were in this old abandoned haunted pub, and we had the whole bar and the entrance area, the stairs, and you could see everything. So basically you can just move the camera, or you could put it in a VR headset and move yourself, and the camera would move around, and it's just amazing. It's definitely the future of ghost hunting. And I think if anybody who is into ghost hunting and makes videos like YouTube, etc., if they don't get a 360 camera, then I think they're going to be left behind, to be honest, because it's definitely the way forward, because you're never going to miss that shot. The ghost shot is not going to be there. You're not going to miss nothing, because the viewer can decide what it's looking at rather than what you've recorded with a normal camera. So, and also the SLS camera we've just got. Mm-hmm. Obviously, people have seen that on telly, Ghost Adventures, but I think people are misinterpreting what they're actually picking up. As we explained in the video that was also out the weekend, it picks up chairs, objects that could possibly be like a human shape. So obviously you got chair legs, backs of chairs, just like arms and legs. So sometimes it maps that as a stick figure, as a person, and also coats as well, shading on curtains. I think some of you will remember when Ghost Adventures were filming on the stage, and they had that band playing on the SLS camera. If you look carefully, you will see where the figures were. There was actually shading on the curtains, and it actually mapped it out, plus a stick figure. So we would suggest that that wasn't a band playing. That was just the curtain being picked up. Now, that might annoy a few people, but obviously I'm not going to go around saying, oh, there's a ghost, because 9 times out of 10 there's not. And I think you need to understand and know how your equipment works before you start using it, really, and to have an opinion on it, because you're just going to make yourself look silly, really. So, yeah. I hope that's all right, Carl.
See, I don't even use an SLS camera, and I find it quite interesting where you've just said about the chair and the curtains.
Yeah, like I say, yeah, you have to spend time with it. You see on these TV shows, oh look, there's a ghost. How do you know it's a ghost? Do you know what's there? Is there a wall? Is it, because obviously it's a 3D mapping software. So any different shapes in the wall, if it's not perfectly flat, it's going to map something out. And you have to understand, like, especially with the portable ones, because obviously some people use them on a laptop, so it's just static. But people obviously now with Ghost Adventures, etc., they're using the portable ones. And I think you just need to understand that not everything is going to be a ghost that you're seeing, or a figure of a spirit. So it's just making yourself not look silly, really. And I'm not saying that Zach and that lie, because I'm sure they don't, and I'm sure they know how their equipment works, because obviously Bill Chappell makes it for them. But yeah.
I think it's like the same as anything, really, because anything, like, you could be investigating and then you see something and you think, oh yeah, it's a ghost, and then it could be like a coat or something.
But if it's a coat, it would still be there, so you can go and have a look at it. Or you want about the SLS picking it up.
Yeah, what about the SLS
so
picking it up? So does it actually, like, come up as a skeleton then?
Yeah, well, I got it last week, and I was testing it out in my house, and it was picking up my chair at the table in my dining room, and it was saying like a full figure was there sitting down, and I thought, well, I'm sure there's not, and it would only pick it up when it was faced the dining room table, so, but it wouldn't pick up my dog or my cat, which is a bit strange. And obviously they're figures, they've got legs.
Yeah, because they've still got a light. Obviously they've got a
exactly.
skeleton.
So I think it's just best to spend more time with it, try and eliminate what it could be, and just see if it picks up every time. And if it does, then obviously it picks up chairs, it picks up coats, it picks up shading in curtains and material. So, but if it's a flat wall and there's something there, or there's nothing in the room and something walks in, then obviously we have to discuss that when that happens. But that's more than likely going to be a spirit than it is if you're standing next to a table with some chairs.
So I know this is like a stupid question to ask, but obviously I don't use like the SLS or anything. But can it pick up like reflections as well, or does it just pick up like solid items?
Yeah, it can pick up your reflection, like in a mirror or a window. That's one of the first things I tested when I got it. I looked in the mirror to see if it mapped me, and it picked me up. Like I said, I'm not too sure about a window, because obviously a window's see-through. I'm not sure. Obviously, we get a reflection if there's light, but I haven't tested it like when indoors at night time with the light on inside, because obviously that's when we get our reflection. But I haven't tested that. But definitely with a mirror, yeah, it picks it up.
Yeah, I think a mirror back kind of makes sense, though, doesn't it? So obviously you use the SLS. If you use the flare, is it the flare?
Have I used that?
Have you used that before?
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
We have one on the iPhone. We use that one. That's really good. Obviously, the ones you used to see on TV back in the day, they used to be like handheld ones, and they'd have their own screen and things like that. But they're like $5,000, and no one's going to buy that unless you've got a TV production company paying for it. So obviously, we got the Flare one that connects to the bottom of your phone. You can get iPhone or Android versions. And basically, they do the same thing. You can record on them, take pictures. So, yeah, they're really good. Definitely recommend if you've got a couple of £100 and you think that that's a good thing to use for your investigations.
If you captured anything on that before, or
I think Alex did once. We were in a cemetery, and it appeared. I think he was looking at a gravestone, and it appeared like something was standing behind it, and it like his head came above the gravestone, and like looking around, and then it disappeared again. And we like tried it from different angles, and it was still there. And then we obviously went up to it, and there was nothing there at all. I think actually it was the daytime as well. This was like evening time. It wasn't even dark, so obviously we could see quite clearly that there was nothing there. But yeah, that was quite interesting. I suppose like the SLS, you need to use. We haven't really used it that much, to be honest. But I think with that, it's only going to pick up heat. You're not really going to get false readings on that because it's just a heat device. So if you see something hot, like a living creature, a human, it's going to show up. So, but then again, I don't know why it would pick up a spirit, because a spirit, in theory, shouldn't have any heat. It should just be cold, so it'd come up like a dark blue colour. I don't know. But I'm confusing myself now. Well.
Sorry, that weird sound's my dog,
okay.
By the way.
Wants to get on the radio, yeah?
Bloody dog. I think it's like with paranormal equipment, though. I think you just find the best one you like to work with, so you just stick with that instead of like using loads of kit.
Oh yeah, definitely. If you've got like loads of kit anyway, you haven't got time to get out all of them and use them all the time. Like we've got 4 or 5 spirit boxes, different versions, different makes. They work differently, and if we used all them, like, and the night's gone already, and that's without like the thermal, the 360, the SLS, any other devices that we've got like Mel meters, REM pods. You just haven't got time to use all of them. It's best to keep. I suppose it depends on the location as well. If you've got a location that would suit the equipment, then you just use what would be suited to it.
Yeah, because I know, like, obviously I investigate, but I haven't investigated in a while. I had loads, like, I had night, well, I wouldn't say it was loads, but I had night vision, IR light, obviously tripod, voice recorder and spirit box. And then obviously I've got rid of my spirit box, my voice recorder, because I want to just use my night vision and myself, if that makes sense.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. You can capture some good evidence with a camera, especially if it's night vision. So yeah, it's not too bad. All these fancy gadgets, they're just to, I suppose, prove things. It depends what you're in the paranormal for. Like, because obviously the human is the best sensory item you could use, I suppose, for ghost hunting. This other equipment is just to validate your findings, because you can't use equipment to say that you're feeling sick, or that you've seen something, or that you hear something, or you feel really ill. So obviously if you're feeling like this and you have equipment that can show up, maybe you can capture something on camera, or they can sense it, or find out that your temperature has dropped, or you've got really hot, and it's just validating what you're feeling personally. So you don't need all this equipment at all. You just need yourself, really. But like I say, it's good to capture things, I suppose, on camera, because then obviously everyone wants to capture that ghost, don't they? So.
So obviously going back to obviously we've spoken about Facebook Lives and the 360 cameras. Do you think Facebook Lives are the way forward for paranormal investigating too?
I would say yes, because you have a worldwide audience. But we have a lot of fans in America. I'd say most of our fans are in America, to be honest. Fans, followers, friends, whatever you want to call people. So yeah, they can watch that live. Obviously, if they're not in the UK and it's on TV, they ain't going to see it. And it's more than likely not going to be online. So they're not going to be able to see it unless someone records it and puts it on YouTube. So I suppose Facebook is a way to go. Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, the only issue you have with Facebook Live is if you've got Wi-Fi.
Oh, yeah, you've got to have a good connection. 4G's all right.
So, don't go using Facebook Live in a cave or something, because it probably wouldn't work.
No, obviously, like I said, it depends on the location. Then, if you're in an open space and it's good, you've got good signal, then yeah, you can do that. If you're underground or you're in a bad reception area, then you ain't going to film nothing. Not for the live, anyway.
I suppose it is good though, but I suppose, it makes you think though. I don't know if people would do it. Do you reckon if you're doing a Facebook Live that you should still have a camera rolling?
Just only have a camera?
No, so say you're doing a Facebook Live. Do you think that you should have a night vision camcorder going as well, just in case?
Like recording it for yourself?
Yeah,
I suppose. But then again, if it's on Facebook, it's going to stay on Facebook. So there's your evidence there. It depends what you want to do with it, really. If you want to transfer it onto other formats like Twitter or YouTube, then yeah, if you can film it and it's not in the way of your Facebook Live camera, then definitely go ahead. But the only thing I would say with Facebook Live is after a while, the voice is out of sync with the mouth for some reason. I don't know why, but it doesn't sync up anymore. So if you're doing lots of close filming, like to a person's head, their mouth's going to be moving, but the words ain't coming out at the same time. That's the only issue. I think YouTube Live works a bit better, but I haven't really done that much on there. But obviously that's something in the future that Facebook needs to sort out. So I'm sure they know about it anyway. But.
So, what is the best place that you have been to for activity?
Lots of places. I would say. So you've got different bits of equipment that will be good for a location. The old Red House pub on the way to Kettering from Northampton. We always go there to test equipment because the audio there is amazing. Spirits just talk. Had some amazing pieces of evidence there captured on camera. Obviously audio. So definitely there for audio. For seeing things myself would have to be Bowen Cemetery. That's where I saw the headless man walking. Seen a child there, a lady in a monk outfit, like a white gown. I think 4 or 5 spirits I've seen there. I saw an old man in the field next to the graveyard, which we actually think is one of the people that are buried there, like the original landowner. I saw him there. But I would say for activity in general, I would say St. Crispin's Mental Asylum in Northampton I've seen a patient there. I've seen a worker there. And the spirit box, the controlled answers that we got were just, wow. It's also somewhere where I feel really sick. Such a bad energy there sometimes. And obviously it's an asylum, so you can't go wrong with that.
Mm. So, would you do any more events with your fans?
What, like public events? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said earlier, hopefully there'll be some more this year coming soon. Because we love meeting people. Most of the time they're people that we've met before, and we've been on events lots of times with them. But it's also nice to meet people that we've never met, and obviously hopefully they have a good time on our events. So yeah, it's good to meet new people.
There you go, Katie. Katie asked that one again.
Cool.
So now I am going to ask your view on a few things, if that's okay.
Okay, as long as I don't get in trouble with my answers. Okay, cool.
No, it's fine. Just don't be that bad.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Sometimes I can't help it.
So obviously I've seen your Moaning Miki video about paranormal TV
Oh, that's
shows.
a good one. I've been putting that off for about a year to film that. And yeah, it had to be done.
So it goes into the question, what are your views on paranormal TV shows?
This is where I need to be careful. Because obviously we're still working with real...
Don't mention any names, you'll be fine.
Obviously we're still working with Really TV, so I can't really mention stuff. I would say people know the fake ones. I can't really say nothing because people are going to know.
You don't know what
people
to say now, do
People are going to know
you?
what I'm on about. And I'm going to get told off. Alex is going to tell me off. Let's just say, I think Ghost Adventures isn't fake. Paranormal Lockdown, don't think it's fake. There's been questions over Ghost of Shepherdstown. Obviously, I don't watch that, so I wouldn't really know. It's just from what I've heard and some of the stories I've seen. UK Haunting is not fake. We've been on TV once, if that counts. We'll go with that. And obviously, there's a few shows I'm really like. Most Haunted, Ghost Chasers. There's another show I think was Paranormal Investigators, but I think they were from Canada. I didn't watch that. But yeah, I think I'll just not answer any on that. No, thank you. Yeah.
It's fine. Yeah. It's fine. Don't want you getting in trouble, and I don't want to get in trouble either. So
it is what it is. People have their own opinions of TV shows. They know what's real, what isn't real. Especially if they do investigating themselves, they will know straight away if something can happen, if it can't happen. So, yeah.
And if people want to watch them type of shows, it's entirely up to them.
They've got every right to watch it.
So, what are your views on Ouija boards?
I think they're harmless, to be fair. When I first started out, back in 2008, in the other team that we were in, we used to use Ouija boards all the time. And obviously, UK Haunted, we have one that we use for our public events. We don't go on them ourselves because I personally don't think that they are reliable, because anybody can move it on purpose. They can subconsciously move it. They could get a twitch in their finger and they could move it. They could move it without even knowing. So for me, that is not a legitimate or credible piece of paranormal equipment. But I don't think you're going to get Zozo the demon coming out and Satan out of your bedroom if you're going to use it, to be fair. So I don't know why these people, I used the Ouija board once and then I had a car crash. It's like, whatever. you crash because you're a crap driver or something. It's nothing to do with a Ouija board or a ghost following you or a demon. But yeah, it's a very bad stigma attached to Ouija boards, but it's just like any other device, really. You're asking a spirit to communicate with you. It's the same if you just call out, if you use a spirit box, if you use anything else, it's just SLS camera, thermal camera, show yourself, I think people just, back in the old days, like in the 60s and 70s, like when The Exorcist was out and people were scared of stuff. People used to do them in their bedrooms, didn't they? And in the garage. In fact, my mum actually did a Ouija board, I think, as my mum, when she was like a teenager. And she got locked in a garage and couldn't get out. And she ran all the way home. And something happened to her at the house. But I personally don't think that was the Ouija board doing that. There may have been a spirit attached to my mum already. So, But no, I don't think Ouija boards are bad at all. We've had no issues at all in the 10 years that I've been using them. So we've only ever had like family members coming through, and no one's been attacked. No one has gone home that I know of and had some bad experiences from using the Ouija board. So.
Yeah, I think it's like I don't think Hollywood movies and that help with the Ouija board
but
thing.
People got to understand that's a film. Films aren't real a lot of the time. Things happen in films that are planned. There's a script. Like these stunts and that, they're not real. People think they're real, then they need to really wake up. But yeah, like you say, Hollywood, the films like Ouija and all that, these low budget films, horror films that they make and they bring out, there's always a Ouija board in there somewhere and people always get killed, and you just got to remember that it's a film and it's not reality. But yeah, like you say, people do think that.
What are your thoughts on haunted items?
Ooh, that's a good subject. I have 8 haunted dolls in my shed. Not sure all of them are haunted. They are, in theory, haunted anyway. I would say I have 3 out of those 8 that I use more often, and I would say they are definitely haunted. I've done a few videos, like a haunted doll series, doing various things with each doll, doing experiments, talking to them, spending time with them, trying to communicate. And I would say definitely 3 of them are very haunted, especially Janet the doll. She's quite popular and famous now. She has no eyes, but she has teeth, and she's from the 1800s. This doll, it came from America. A lady in Texas contacted me and said that she was in the attic and she saw that I liked haunted dolls, and did I want her? And I'm like, yeah, of course. Like, she spent $50 to send it to me, and she didn't want no money at all or anything. She'd spend $50 to basically get rid of it out of her house because it was locked in her attic, and all the family hated it and wanted it out. So yeah, there's a few videos of Janet on UK Haunted Channel and on my own channel on YouTube. So go check them out if you like that. Obviously, people are going to say, "Oh, how can a doll be haunted? Why would you have a doll?" But a doll for many people was like a comfort thing. So it's something that they can, I don't know, they're used to it, and it's not threatening for them, I suppose. I don't know. But you can say that about any object, really. Like, some people like look at Zach's museum. He's got lots of different haunted items. They're haunted for different reasons. So, like, it could be a death, like Michael Jackson's chair, I believe he has now, that the doctor used to sit on every day and inject him with whatever he died of, his overdose or whatever. And it's things like that. It's like there's energy whenever you die, or obviously we're full of energy, and it's got to go somewhere when we die. Why wouldn't it go into an object? So But yeah, it fascinates me, haunted dolls, definitely. And that's not a weird thing either.
It's only really if you think of it though, it's only really the same as you going into a haunted building because you're fascinated in that.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I suppose the stigma attached, people are like, oh, how can a doll be haunted? And that's not real. And it's just silly. Why would a ghost be sitting in a doll? Well, it's not in the doll. It's around the doll or the object. So, but like I say, it's whatever people believe, and I've done too many experiments and stuff to find out that mine are haunted anyway. So, well.
But it just it just make you think though, if you just sit there and think, like, if buildings can be haunted, so why can't objects be haunted?
Exactly. It's just the same thing. It's just, like, I would say most of the time, people are more haunted than the buildings, than the actual buildings itself, because obviously you got the human interaction. That's what people want. People liked it when they were alive. So when they're obviously dead, they still follow people. They follow family. So I can't see why people would think that people couldn't be haunted. Like we say on our events, like, you're more likely to bring a spirit to the location than you are to go home with one that was at the building. So.
Do you think people can have long-term attachments?
Is that just a spirit in general or a bad spirit?
Katie, let me know.
We'll go back to that.
I'll go back to that one. So what is I'm going to say it, I don't care. I ask everyone. This isn't no offence to anyone, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe in demons?
I think there are demons somewhere in the world, yes. But I think people only get possessed if they are weak-minded. That's my opinion. I think that people, obviously, everyone deals with things differently. Everyone has their own problems in life. I think if they're going through a lot of bad stuff and they're not at a good place inside their own head, and they go to these sort of locations, they would quite easily, a spirit, maybe just a negative spirit, it doesn't have to be a demon, could attach themselves to that person and, like, get inside their head, really. But I think, yeah, demons are real, I would say. But you have to be weak-minded, I think, in my own opinion, to be possessed. So, but obviously I'm not a medium. I don't know how it works. Like, people used to see Derek Okora getting possessed every week on Most Haunted. Like, he's a medium, so maybe it's easy for him to get possessed. I don't know. But yeah, I do think demons are real. But I think demonic possession, when you need an exorcist and things like that, I don't know. I think some of it is in people's heads, to be fair.
Katie says a bad one.
Okay, what was the question again? Sorry.
Do you think people can have long-term
attachment? Well, I actually had an attachment for 3 months. I don't know if that counts as long-term. And in the end, I didn't give a shit about nothing. I didn't care. I didn't want to go to work. I didn't want to be around people. I was depressed. Not to the point where I went to a doctor. I just didn't give a shit about nothing. I just went about my day-to-day job and life, family and that, as if to say, hey, whatever. And I had a lot of bad luck at this time as well. Things weren't going right for me. And then suddenly something clicked and everything was good again. And the location where I believe this came from was Delapre Abbey in Northampton. And if you ask Carl, I actually think he took home something the same day as me, but I think his was a lot worse. I'm not going to go into detail because obviously I can't really speak on his behalf. I know what he's told me, but he may not want me to explain to everybody who's listening.
I'll getting to put say on live on the next live
so
show.
Obviously Carl's going to listen to this. I'd love to say what you told me, Carl, but obviously I'm not going to because that's not fair on you, mate. So.
Yeah, I do. Like, obviously, a lot of people don't know this about me, but I have had an attachment before.
Was it good or bad? Yeah.
Bad. Like, obviously, it obviously followed me home, and I was like you, depressed, and I was just angry with everyone. And then things were getting they weren't getting thrown in my house, but things were getting moved in my house and that. And
okay, so that's obviously different. Mine was just myself personally and how I was. Obviously, yours was some of that as well, but also physical things that you were possibly seeing. Yeah, so that's totally different. Yeah, but I do think, like, going back to the question that we didn't really know, a positive spirit attachment, obviously that can happen because it could be your family. So you could have a granddad that follows you around, and your kids or something see, oh, granddad's here again at the end of the bed. And so obviously that's just your family members coming back to visit you. So I think that definitely that can happen because that's very common for people to see or hear or sense, like past family members.
Katie says she thinks it happened to her when she went to Stoke-on-Trent investigation. She got scratched there and felt strange for a good while.
Oh, yeah, obviously people know about the 3 scratches, the mocking of the Trinity. So, yeah, I've heard... I have actually been scratched. I think I was scratched last year. I come home from an investigation and I had 3 scratches on my neck. To be honest, I can't really remember which location it was at this present time. But I didn't feel anything from it the next day. I was fine. I didn't feel bad. So, but obviously, it affects people differently. Could be a different spirit. So, obviously, what Katie experienced was not a nice thing.
Yeah, I think I've been scratched as well.
In a weird way, though, I always wanted to be scratched.
I don't know if it was good or bad, though.
Sorry, what was that?
I said I've been scratched before, but I don't know if it was a good spirit or a bad spirit.
Well, I don't think a good spirit's going to scratch you, really.
Could do if you piss them off.
It doesn't want to harm you, does it? If it's good. Unless it's a family member that you pissed off. I don't know.
Right, what were you going to say then?
Sorry.
All right. I'm trying to think what else though. So, do you think every building can be haunted?
Not every building.
In some way.
If you're asking if every building has had a death, no. Obviously, you don't need the building to be haunted by someone who's died there because they could just like the building and they've visited while they're alive and they're just coming back. You know, like the old story where the spirit comes back to see family members going back to their old pub that they used to go to, their old family home. So I suppose they could do that. But I wouldn't say every building is haunted, to be honest. No.
what I was going to say. It's just like it's kind of interesting though, because it makes you think like, how can spirits attach themselves to things? And it's weird, like haunted, like how can spirits attach themselves to items?
Or to objects.
It's weird. Well, it's not weird, but it's interesting.
It's good though, because obviously that needs research. So the more we research it, the more time we spend with objects that could possibly be haunted. That may, obviously, you had in the old days, you had the Haunted Collector, didn't you, on the TV with John Zaffis. He used to go and steal all your expensive stuff and put it in his museum. But I don't know. So yeah, obviously I don't know. I don't really know how it works, how the items become haunted in the first place, unless it's possibly a family member and that item was with them when they were alive.
Possibly.
That's the only way I think you're going to figure it out for you, like a quite definite answer, I suppose.
Think what else. Is there anything you want to talk about, Mickey, while I think of questions?
My house is haunted. I can tell you a story about my house.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I've been in my house at the moment for 7 years this year. When I first moved in, didn't really know anything about the location. I still don't know, to be fair. And within, I would say, the first few months of living here, my children were saying things that they were seeing things. I think my son saw a dark figure in the corner of his bedroom at night times. My daughter was having her cover pulled off her, and the curtains were being opened basically in the night. So I knew somebody who could come and deal with that, and they came round and blessed all the bedrooms upstairs, the bathroom, and basically put like healing crystals, protection crystals in the rooms, so no spirit could enter the rooms. But they only did the 3 bedrooms and the bathroom. And then they did some sort of, I don't know, ritual stuff, and it was fine. Everything was all good. But you still get someone, or whoever it is, running up and down my stairs. Quite often, if I'm downstairs late at night, I'm watching telly, I'll hear someone walking around upstairs. So I go upstairs, thinking, oh, kids are out of bed, what are they doing? And they're all like snoring in their bedrooms. So it's like, well, it's not them. If my wife's at work, it ain't her because she's not here. And then quite often it happens I'd say it hasn't really happened that much within the last couple of years, the noises. But we've gone on to, I've seen someone walk down my stairs. I've been sat in the living room and I can see the bottom of the stairs area from the sofa. And I looked up once from watching telly and I saw a man in a black, like a silhouette of a black man, not a black man, but like a black figure. He had like a backpack on, and again he was there, then he was gone within a second. And it's like, wow, I'm not telling the wife that one, because sometimes they don't really like to hear what's going on. But quite often, my children have heard. I think my son has heard his name called twice in the bathroom. While they're in the bathroom, obviously. And one time I was in there one early Sunday morning. I was going for a toilet and I heard, Daddy, Daddy, thinking it was my daughter. So I'm like, what do you want? It's really early. Like, I opened the door and she's not there. And I went in her bedroom and she's asleep. And I'm like, wow, that was a girl's voice. But all the activity nowadays surrounds my bathroom. But I don't think that crystal is still in the bathroom anymore. I don't know if you know about the tap situation in my house in the bath. The hot tap has been turned on, I think, 3 times within the last year. But it's turned like 5 turns. So it's not like a leaky pipe or a pressure in the tap where the water just comes out. We'd be downstairs in the living room and you can hear basically what's happening in the bathroom from upstairs. And I think my wife was just going out to work in the afternoon, and she went to the front door, and she's like, "Oh, the tap's on." But upstairs, like really, really loud, really forceful, powerful. And at the same time, my son was washing up in the kitchen, and he said, "Oh, the water's not on. The hot water's not coming out." Obviously, the hot water is pumping out at like a million mile an hour in the bath, and it's like everyone's downstairs. Like my other two kids are at the table doing their homework. So I run upstairs, and yet again, the tap is on full, and it takes 5 turns to turn the hot tap off. Now, no one was upstairs for like an hour before that, so we didn't hear it. And yeah, how do you explain that? 3 times it's happened within the year now. So they're wasting all my hot water. Because imagine if that happens and we're not home, that could overflow and flood my house. So I that is one thing I cannot explain. So many other things I've experienced over the years I can explain or give a possible reason, but that I do not know. If there's no one there and it's been turned 5 times and it's just come on, that's impossible in my eyes.
It makes you think as well, though, like, how do they turn the tap
Exactly, that
on?
would obviously mean that spirits can touch things. Obviously, people think they move things, they throw objects, they knock things off the table. Obviously, a poltergeist, I suppose you'd call it. But yeah, so they must be able to do it, because that is one thing over the years I cannot explain, and I'd like someone to come and tell me how that is possible if no one's upstairs and suddenly that comes on like it does. And it just amazes me.
Because it like makes you think the spirits like see it as a full thing, like a full object.
I know, it's crazy.
Weird thing we're into, but hey, how it's interesting.
Yeah,
What do you think?
We run out of questions now.
Yeah. I've done good
yeah,
though.
Yeah, I thought you were going to ask me about Haunted Mansion.
I was actually.
But you didn't watch it. So.
If you want, you can talk about that.
Well, what I thought of it.
Yeah, in the nicest possible way,
of course,
if you want.
Yeah. Obviously, we were gutted that we couldn't be a part of Series 2. Obviously, being on Series 1 at the hotel. But I think they spent a lot more money this time on promotion, advertising, and the celebs were better this time as well. They were, I'd say, quite relevant celebrities. So people watch them on TV now. And I think most of the celebs actually did really well. They really put the time in. They put the effort in. And overall, it was a good show. But obviously, we weren't involved, which was a bit upsetting. But, you know, things happen for a reason. There must be a reason why we weren't on it. Maybe something else will come along. And we'll get on there. But it would have been nice to work with Jason Hawes and Jack Osborne. So, but wasn't to be. So, but yeah, they all did well in the show. I think the show was a success anyway. So,
I haven't watched it.
no
so
idea.
I don't have a lot of time to watch TV.
No.
I always watch it on catch
yeah, that's
up.
not on catch up, I don't think.
So, and obviously watch Ghost Adventures on YouTube.
Yeah, when they come out on the Saturday, you go on YouTube Sunday morning to find a new episode. Yeah, I do that.
And then when you can't find it, you get angry and you're like,
yeah, but you know someone's going to put it up at some point.
Yeah. Or like you watch one and then you watch half of it and then you find that YouTube has took off.
Oh, no. But what I do is I've got a YouTube downloader app on my laptop. So I just download the episodes. So I've got all the episodes from like series 7, series 6 onwards. So I can just watch them whenever I want. So, yeah. So what do you think of the new series of Ghost Adventures that has just finished then? What's your opinion of it?
Pretty good. Yeah. Katie, I've just seen your question. I'm going to ask us views on that.
Okay.
In a minute. What they think what's on everybody's lips. Yeah, I think it was pretty good. Like, I think they're getting better, but
I would say, you know, when they went to the Bell Witch Caves. Yeah, from that series, I don't know what that was, series 10, 9, 10, something like that. I would say the production for the daytime is like a very professional TV show. And then it overshadows the night stuff, I would say. But then again, I do like the day stuff, so it don't bother me. But I know a few people have mentioned in the past that, it's all about night vision. We want to see investigating. We don't want to see daytime stuff. But I would say a bit, half and half is fine if you're learning while you're watching the day stuff. But I think this series, like series 15, was very good. I enjoyed that. They went to some really good locations. And I think the technology that they're developing is, some of it's amazing. But obviously it's not readily available to everybody because Bill Chappell just makes it for Ghost Adventures.
It'll be good to see this new season, what's coming out though, because obviously they've been back to the Washoe Club.
Yeah, it's the 24th of March, isn't it? Next week? This week?
Yeah, but obviously we get it 25th of March because it's YouTube.
Week, yeah, next Saturday. Yeah. Yeah.
So, yes. I'm just going to ask this question because it's obviously in social media a lot, but what are your thoughts on the Demon House?
Oh, that's a good question. I like that. I'm annoyed, firstly, that we can't watch it in the UK. Only available on iTunes America, which is not fair. But hey-ho, I'm sure it'll be on some illegal websites soon, which I'll be trying to find. If I can't download it, then needs must and all that. Yeah, it's a very weird one. Obviously, the story is amazing. Obviously, you got police and other officials backing up the history and the demons and that, and the paranormal activity that they've seen, which is very rare because the police don't normally get involved. Obviously, that's why Zach bought it. I think he bought it on a phone call, didn't he? He just saw it in the news and it's like, I want to buy that. So he phoned that bloke because they wouldn't let him come and investigate it. So he said, I'll just buy it then. I think he got it for like 36 grand, which is really cheap. But like, I think, was Nick on there with him still then?
I don't know, because I've seen a clip, but all I've seen is Jay, because obviously I know Jay went, and I'm sure Nick did.
Nick, I think him or Billy said it was the worst place and the worst time they've ever experienced in a location because it was just so bad. And they had to stop filming a couple of times, didn't they? Because they were getting ill. I think
they have been promoting an image though with where we can watch it. So fingers crossed that we do get to watch it because they put up that you can watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, I saw that, but is that going to be YouTube Red, which is like the subscription YouTube? And
this is what I'm thinking because it's on Google. Because it's on Google
but the
Play.
American one, I bet.
And that's how I'll watch it, and I'm like, please.
You just do a live stream while you're watching it on Facebook so we can watch it.
I'm sure we'll find out tomorrow, won't we? Because obviously it comes out in the States tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's at cinemas as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I think at least select.
Yeah, probably Vegas. Well, yeah, I definitely one I want to watch.
I think there's a few in Vegas.
For whatever people think of Zach, he knows how to make a program. But I just don't know why he demolished it. Maybe, I suppose people would say, oh, if it's fake, then if he demolishes it, people can't prove him wrong. But then again, why would he buy it and then demolish it after making it? Surely he could go back in the future and do episodes there. I just don't know.
But maybe, fingers crossed, we actually find out all this in the
Well, I'm sure some people will be finding out very soon. In America, anyway.
So if anyone's listening who's in America right now, you know you love us.
Yeah, send us some links, please. I'm sure it'll be on YouTube. Someone will download it from their phone. Well,
obviously, I looked on Google Play and I've added it to my wish list. So
is it available in the UK though?
I don't know, because it's like, well, I've got a friend it is a special. I don't know how she's done it, but obviously she's in the UK and she has seen that she can get it on iTunes.
I tried that the other day. Obviously, it's not available in the UK iTunes because you search, it doesn't come up. So I went on Google and searched it, like Demon House iTunes, and it sends you to the American one. But it goes on the actual app, iTunes app, and it says, do you want to transfer to the US version of iTunes? So I said, yeah, clicked on yes. And then obviously everything comes up and it's there. But I believe you cannot download it to your device in the UK, even if you're on the iTunes America. But I may be wrong, but I'm not sure. But I've heard people say that it can't be done.
Oh well, if we have to wait a bit, we have to wait a bit, don't we?
Oh no, but it's not fair.
I know, but it's only the same as like we have to wait 8. Like, no offense to really, because obviously I know with production and that we're always a season behind on that. So
yeah, I'm not sure what series is coming out on really next week, but
I think it's
15's the one that's just finished, isn't it? I didn't know they'd caught.
I don't know. No, 16's just 16's just finished in the States, so the new one's going to be 17.
15 is just finished in America. That's the one that's on YouTube at the moment.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out when it's like season 17 of Guest Pictures on YouTube.
Yeah, definitely.
So, before we finish the show, Mickey, do you have anything coming up you'd like to announce?
No.
That was easy. Nope.
Obviously, I've always got ideas for my own personal stuff, my explores. I'm actually going back to Wales soon. I think in April to do some more exploring with them guys. Hoping to get out around the country and do more exploring. There's some amazing abandoned buildings that I want to get to, and I sometimes take my spirit box with me. You know, so instead of just filming what I see, I do a bit of ghost hunting as well, like kill two birds with one stone sort of thing. So, but obviously the UK haunted stuff, I've got lots of plans for this year. Some of it I can't talk about at the moment. Hopefully we do some more stuff with Really this year as well. Who knows what's going to happen at Halloween. So, but yeah, always planning, always.
One last question before you carry on.
Yeah, like I say, always planning, always got ideas. It's just finding the time to get out and finish them and actually complete them. And obviously, depending on who you're doing it with, whether you can release information. So, but But yeah.
So one last question before we let you go. Do you want to go to Zach Bagan's Haunted Museum?
What do you think I'll say to that?
No, I'm joking.
No, I mean, what do you think my answer would be? Obviously.
Yeah, because everyone does, don't
yeah,
they? Well, I think most.
I don't want to go there because I'm in love with Zach, like a lot of people are. But I want to go there because of the haunted stuff. But I would like to meet him, obviously.
Same.
Have a photo with him. That'd be job done then. So all good. So talking about haunted items, so I've actually spoken to Aaron about haunted dolls before, and the very upsetting thing, what he said to me, he thinks that they could be haunted, but the best people to contact was Debbie Constantino. Obviously, he gave me her phone number. This was a week before. Was her husband Mark? Was it? Mark killed her.
Yeah.
So, that sends shivers down your spine just thinking about that. I nearly spoke to them and had a chat about the haunted dolls, and obviously that horrible thing happened. And yeah, but yeah.
But yeah, might as well say it. Fingers crossed, PSH Radio are taking a trip to Vegas in September.
Is that what you're planning? Yeah?
And we shall be taking a trip. Yeah, and we're taking a trip to Zach's museum.
Nice.
And doing a review. Fingers crossed.
If you get to go there, yeah, I'll give you some money. You can get me some stuff there, if that's all right.
Yeah, I've got like my friends are like, get me a hoodie, I'll send you the money.
things like that, obviously, because sometimes they don't ship to the UK, or it costs like £40 to ship a hat. It's like, wow. But yeah, so yeah, that'd be a really good trip. I do want to go there one day. So
yeah, if it's not, it should be me and Carl, but it might just be me and it might be just Carl.
Oh, okay.
So we don't know yet.
That'll still be good though.
We'll see. Yeah. So before we go, would you like people to let you know how they can reach you on social media? So that's how they can reach UK Haunted, Moaning Miki, and obviously yourself.
How long have you got? Yeah. Okay.
No, it's fine, go on.
We'll start with my own self. You can find my Facebook page, Mickey York. Instagram, The Real Mickey York. Twitter, The Real Mickey York. You can follow me on Snapchat, where I do lots of weird stuff, not only ghost hunting. That's Spooky272. My YouTube channel is Mickey York, or you can just search Mr. Mickey 272, and that will take you directly to the page. UK Haunted on Twitter, official UK Haunted on our Facebook page, and also YouTube. We don't have anything else. Instagram is UK Haunted as well, and that's it, I think. I'm sure there's other social media that I use, but I can't remember.
If you plugged Moaning Miki.
Moaning Miki's out every Monday at 8 a.m. I've only got 4 episodes left of the series, so that'll be 20 episodes completed. Yeah, stay tuned. This week is the good one. I filmed 3 the other day, and shall I tell you what they're about? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, go on.
Okay.
Might as well.
I think Monday's one is going to be about council tax. I know it sounds weird, but I just got my council tax renewal form yesterday, and I'm not happy. So that will be out for Monday because it's relevant at the moment. I have one for Audi drivers, one for people sharing and videoing those horrible fights that people do where the kids are being bullied, and that does my head in. I hate that. And also one about Easter and Jesus, which I don't know if it's going to go down really well, because you don't talk about religion, do you? So, yeah, the Easter one will be out in 2 weeks, I think. I think the day after Easter Sunday, so the 2nd of April. So that'll be a good one. I don't know how much trouble I'll get into for that one, but hey-ho.
Just ignore you, don't you? So, Mickey, we are going to let you go if that's okay.
Perfectly fine. Thank you for having me on.
And thank you. Yeah, it's been like years, I think, hasn't it, since you've been on?
I know. I used to just randomly ring up with Alex and have a chat with you and Carl, and I think Becky was still on it then, wasn't she? Yeah. Yeah.
We need to get it sorted. Tell Alex.
Yeah, we will do. Or are you just doing guests at the moment, or because you used to do just like weekly shows, didn't you? Or is it only a guest now at the moment?
Yeah, we're doing just guests. We're doing guests at the minute every other week, but we will be doing new discussion shows because obviously we stopped as Ghost Adventures ones, but we'll be doing we'll be doing new discussion shows, so which we want people to get involved with. So a few posts will be going out because we do want people on air with us while we do it.
You could do like relevant topics of paranormal that week. Like maybe there's an amazing video that's come up on social media, and you can talk about that. Obviously, that's up to you, but you know. And then you could get people to ring up and talk about and discuss, a bit like they do with the comments, but without the stupid people commenting.
Yeah, it's kind of what you said, but obviously, like I say, I think it'll be like after, because obviously it's my birthday tomorrow,
happy birthday.
So obviously I'm not posting nothing. Thank you. So in the next few days, a lot of Facebook posts will be going up. So.
I do have a question for you. Is this going to be available to re-listen to?
Yeah, it will be available. I'd say I'll probably have it out on, what day are we on? Friday? No, on Monday? Probably Monday.
Okay.
So obviously it'll be put up, and then obviously I'll tag you in it, and I'll message you in that, whatever, so you can social media or whatever.
Yeah, is it possible to send me the file, or is that not possible?
Yes, I can actually send you the
brilliant.
file.
That'll be perfect. Cool.
Cool. So we'll let you go now, Mickey.
All right, nice talking to you again, and thank you for having me on.
Same.
Cool. All right, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.